The franchisor is the individual or a business granting the business rights. And the franchisee is the individual or the business granted the rights to operate in accordance with the chosen method to produce or the product or services. So we have types of franchises. In the global business, the product distribution, franchising represents the largest percentage of total retail sales. However, the most franchises available today are business format opportunities. So the business format franchise is a type of franchise includes not only a product, service, and trademark, but also the complete method of conduct, the business itself, such as the marketing platform and operations manual. Usual example is a fast food, service restaurants, retail, lodging, automotive, building, and construction. So we have two types of franchises are number one, the product distribution. The franchises basically sell the franchise source products and are supplier dealer relationships. So the best example is in the product distribution franchising, the franchisor license its trademark and logo to the franchisees, but typically does not offer them with an entire system for running the business. So it is the franchisor is still in charge in an overall operation of the business. So franchise that simply sells the products of the franchisor and have supplier dealer relationship. So for example, in the manufacturing, production, or processing franchise, the franchisor will sell to the franchisee an essential ingredient or provide some specific know-how, which along with ongoing quality controls by the franchisor, enabling the franchisee to manufacture products, process the final product, and sell to the consumer. Coca-Cola operates in many markets in this manner, supplying the franchisees with essential ingredients of Coca-Cola, protected by a trade secret, enabling them to produce the final product. Other example, a familiar product distribution franchise are the Pepsi Cola and Ford Motor Company. The second type of franchise is the business format. The franchises uses a franchisor's product, the service, and trademark, and the complete method to conduct the business itself, such as the marketing plan and operation manuals. So the best example here is the Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, KFC, and also Pizza Hut. All of the franchisors' operating system, technical expertise, marketing system, the training system for the crew, management methods, and essentially all relevant information are being transferred to the franchisee. So the modern day franchising is primarily in the business format, accounting for around 90% of franchise business worldwide. The business format franchisees are the popular type of franchise. We have four essential elements of business format franchising. The franchisor allows the franchisee to use under license its proprietary intellectual property, principally its trademarks, but also its designs, its patents, copyright, and its confidential business information. The most important is usually the trademark on which the brand has been built, and it's the brand recognition that makes the franchise business attractive. The franchisor controls the way the business is run and managed by the franchisee. The franchisor will provide training for your crew, mentoring, and assistance to the franchisee. The franchisee makes both initial and periodic payments to the franchisor. In the Philippines, the well-known franchising opportunities are in these industries like fast food chain, very popular, our Jollibee, our retail food services, for example, the Potato Corner, and also our famous Mang Inasal. It's a restaurant. Borrowing the word of Del Rosario and Mark Ernest way back 2016, franchising of business has become a popular form business in the Philippines and is quite easy to do. The two type of franchising arrangement. Number one is the single unit or direct unit franchise. A single unit franchise is an agreement where the franchisor grants a franchisee the right to open and operate one franchise unit. This is the simplest and the most common type of franchise. It is possible, however, for a franchisee to purchase additional single unit franchises once the original franchise unit begins to prosper. This is then considered a multiple single unit relationship. The second is the multi-unit franchise, area development, and master franchise. So, a multi-unit franchise is an agreement where the franchisor grant a franchisee the rights to open and operate more than one unit. So, an area development franchise where a franchise has the right to open more than one unit during a specific time within a specified area. So, for example, a franchisee may agree to open 5 units over a 5-year period in a specified territory. And also, a master franchise agreement for the master franchise agreement gives the franchisee more rights than an area development agreement. In addition to having the right and obligation to open and operate a certain number of units in a defined area. So the master franchisee also has the right to sell the franchises to other people within the territory. It is also known as a sub-franchises. Therefore, the master franchises takes over many of the tasks, duties, and also the benefits of the franchisor, such as providing support and training, as well as receiving fees and royalties. So, in the international franchising, so as we look at a broader perspective, in the situation of going international, it is necessary to keep in mind that intellectual property rights are territorial in nature. There was planning to go overseas with a franchise operation. It is important to make sure that the intellectual property rights are protected in that territory. There are essentially 5 ways in which a franchise system can be expanded overseas. So, number one is the franchisor grants franchises to franchisees in the target country. Number two, the franchisors establishes a subsidiary or a branch operation in the target country. And that subsidiary or branch acts as the franchisor. A joint venture is established between the franchisor and a third party with knowledge of the target country. The joint venture will act as the franchisor in that country. The grant of a master franchise agreement and the grant of a development agreement. Then we will going to discuss the commonly used terms in franchising. So we heard about the business format franchise. So this is the type of franchise includes not only a product, service, and trademark, but also the complete method to conduct the business itself, such as the marketing plan and operation manual. And also the disclosure statement. The disclosure statement is also known as UFO or Uniform Franchise Offering Circular. The the document provides information about the franchisor and the franchise system. And also the franchise. A license that describes the relationship between the franchisor and franchisee, including use of trademarks with fees and support and control. Franchise agreement. The legal written contract between the franchisor and franchises, which tells each party that each is supposed to do. Franchising is a method of business expansion characterized by a trademark, license, and payments of fees and significant assistance and of control. The franchisor is the person or a company that grants the franchisee the right to do business under their trademark or trade name. Intellectual property is the major factor when franchising a business, where franchisee both are franchised and buying the legal rights to use the name associated with the franchise. Product distribution franchise, a franchise where the franchise simply sells the franchisor's products without using the franchisor's method or conducting business. Royalty is the regular payment made by the franchisee to the franchisor, usually based on the percentage of the franchise gross sales. So here in this illustration, it shows here the example of the companies that are, and these are the example of their royalty rates. So it is percentage of the franchisee's gross sales. So that's all for now for this video. For our next topic, we will going to discuss the alternatives to franchising. Thank you for listening and